What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, what we're going to be going over is basically the pros and cons of Meta ads or Google ads and which one you should run for your own CPA firm or accounting firm, bookkeeping firm, same thing. So I've got my iPad here going over all of my notes. Just a full disclaimer, I personally run Meta ads. That's the one that I like. That's the one that I use, but both of them work. Both have pros and cons. We're going to go through every single one right now. Before we get started, I got my glasses. I'm officially a YouTube guru. No, I'm just joking. Anyways, these are blue light blockers. I'm going to see if these actually work. Because I've seen some studies, but it might be paid studies. Big Pharma's trying to get me right now. Anyways, all right. Enough joking around. Let's get into the video. So, just going to go over my notes here. We're going to start with Meta, kind of the pros and cons of Meta. Actually, before I do that, kind of have to be clear on the differences between Meta ads and Google ads. So Meta ads is push marketing and Google ads is pull marketing. Now, the difference is with Google, you're pulling attention in, you're pulling people in who are already coming into your direction. With Meta, you're pushing all of your offers out. You're pushing everything out to people who have never heard you, don't know about you. Some people don't even know that they have a problem, but that's why you're pushing all of these offers and content out to make these people aware so that they then eventually hire you to fix those problems. Now, getting into the actual pros and cons of Meta. The first pro with Meta is Meta's cheap. So Meta covers Facebook and Instagram, and you can get pretty cheap clicks and pretty cheap leads. Right now, I'm running a funnel and I'm paying about $20 a lead, and each lead for the minimum, absolute minimum, is $600. And that's going to be every single year. The highest for these leads are about $6,000. So if I can get a $20 lead and then turn that into $6,000, that's a very cheap lead. Now, obviously, it depends on your funnel and it depends on how good your sales is. You could have a terrible funnel and you could get $50 leads, but even then, really, for us, like the kind of niche that we're in, for those of you that are just tuning in, like if this is your first time here, I run my own accounting firm, and I've also done marketing for other accounting firms, and like the average deal size that you have per client is very large, where even if the cost per lead is really $500 or $1,000, which sometimes it is, depending on that deal size, it makes sense. Like I did a tax planning engagement one time for, I think it was $8,200 or 85. It was it was a really good deal, and at that client cost me, I think it was just under $1,000 to close them. So I basically spent $1,000 to make $8,500. That's an 8.5x return. I'm happy with that. Now, if everything is set up properly and everything is rolling in as it should be, if you've set it up properly, then Meta ad, the leads are very cheap, okay? The other pro with Meta ads is it's super cheap. Super cheap, I just said that. Super easy, okay? I'm just looking at my notes here. It is super easy to run Meta ads. I used to think that Meta ads was very difficult, but it's actually very straightforward and it's very easy, okay? Anyone could run Meta ads. The fact that people are still paying agencies to run all of their Meta ads, set these things up, and they're paying them like $2,500 a month, they are getting cooked and they are getting ripped off, okay? The fact that people charge like $2,000 plus a month just to manage like Meta ads accounts, simply just manage. These people don't do any consulting. They don't do any building of their funnels. They don't help them with anything. Just manage it. Basically tell them what the numbers say. $2,000 a month, that is crazy. Anyways, I digress. Moving on to the cons. The biggest con that I see is that it's a pretty slow sales cycle. And what I mean by that is you're marketing to cold traffic. People who don't know you, they don't trust you, and we can just say that they don't like you, okay? They don't know anything about you, so they're not going to send you their credit card. They're not going to send you money or anything like that. Even if you tell them that you've got a tax strategy that can save them $40,000, $50,000, $100,000, because they don't trust you, they don't believe you. It takes some time for people to warm up to you, start to trust you, start to like you, where they'll start to actually send you money. Now, for me, what I've seen, this is going to range between 3 to 6 months. Sometimes it's shorter, but sometimes it's longer. But the average is about 3 to 6 months. I think in my last video, I told you that I had this one deal come in January, and they didn't close until like September or October or something like that. So that's basically an entire year, okay? And that's really what happens with cold traffic. You don't know someone, you don't trust them. It takes you a while to fully commit to it. So that's one con about meta ads, is the sales cycle. It's pretty long, at least in my opinion. I'm a pretty impatient person. I'm trying to get better on that, but still 3 to 6 months per lead when they first come in. So if they come in on the 1st of January, don't expect them to close until the 1st of April. Or sorry, not April, but March. Now, the other downside of meta ads is sometimes the ad creative can die very quickly, and you're in a constant cycle of having to recreate ads. Now, luckily for us accountants, ads are very simple and they're very straightforward, especially with the AI. The AI can make us all, like, I could have AI make probably 50 ads in the next 2 hours. So to make ads on Meta, it's not very hard, but there's a kind of like a double-edged sword to it, because the ads can die very, very, very quickly. And what I mean by that, and honestly, it's not that the ads die because of Meta. The ads die just because of the actual platform that Meta is. Like, Meta doesn't do anything specifically to make them die. It's kind of just the way that it is, because most people on Meta and Instagram, you've got 10, 15, 20-second videos that people are just scrolling through. So if they see a 30-second ad, they'll probably just scroll right through it. That's why the messaging and the actual hook in the ad has to be perfect. Otherwise, people aren't going to stop and scroll. So that's the downside, is if you just throw out like an average ad, Meta is not going to process that, and they're not going to push that ad to other people, because people don't like it. People aren't liking it. People aren't commenting. People aren't sharing it. Nothing like that. If you have an ad that people constantly love, they like it, they repost it, they comment on it, then Meta's going to keep pushing that, and you can have that ad run for like 3 or 4 months. It's not going to die. So that's one downside, is just the fact that people are really on Facebook and Instagram scrolling, just going through like brain rot stuff for 30 seconds or 5 seconds, 10 seconds each video. If your ad doesn't get good traction, it dies and you start wasting money. So, but like I said, if you've got a proper good ad and you know what you're doing, you know how to track it, it's not that big of a deal. Now, moving on to the pros and cons of Google, because I've done both. I've done marketing on Google and I've done marketing on Meta. I've done the longest that I've been on is Meta, for obvious reasons. I think it's easier, much quicker, and it's quicker, easier, cheaper, and just more versatile. It's just my opinion. Obviously, some people are going to disagree with that, like the Google agency owners. Anyways. Okay, so pros. Pros with Google is you get fast results. And the reason why you get fast results is Google is mainly search. So people are searching for something, searching for tax planners, searching for bookkeepers, searching for tax preparation, searching for mortgage brokers, searching for financial planning, whatever. So people are searching for different things. And if you can pop up from that search because you've got your ad there, then people are going to get introduced to you faster, and the deal is going to close quicker, because these people, they know that they have a problem. They're now they're actively searching for a solution, and you are that solution. So that's what I mean. Versus with Facebook, like, let's say that the lead that I got when I first launched that campaign that came in January and closed in September, they didn't even know that they had a problem. They didn't know how to fix it, and they weren't interested in fixing it. But September, when their tax bill came, that's when they were interested in fixing it. So by September came, they were in pain, they were problem aware, and they were solution aware, meaning that they were actively searching for a solution. Now, people who are Googling certain things are already problem aware, and they're now trying to become, they're searching for a solution. So that's one pro about Google, is it's very fast results. A second pro with Google is Google and YouTube. They're basically the same company. Like, Google owns YouTube. Those are the two biggest search platforms on the entire internet. Google, I believe, is number one, and YouTube, I believe, is number two, or it's the other way around. But at the end of the day, it's owned by the same company, and they have the biggest search platform ever. So you can target literally everyone. Whether you're in the US, you can search every single state, city. If you're in Canada, you can search every single province. If you're in the UK, same thing. Australia, same thing. France, Germany, whatever. You can Google search down to the exact location and radius of that location that you want. So you have tons of options. No matter what your niche is, what your ideal client is, or who you want to advertise to, they are on Google or YouTube. And if they're not, then they're on Facebook or Instagram. Like, some people don't realize the kind of reach that these platforms have, and when you put money behind it, it can be huge. So those are the pros. You get fast results, and you have a wide range of search platforms. You got Google and YouTube, which have the most people on there. Now the cons, first one I'm going to say is it's pretty expensive. In my last video, I talked about like a minimum budget that you should have for running ads on Meta, and I said it was $100 per day, and that I still stand by that. But with Google, you are at a minimum set of $100 per day. Like with Meta, you can still run $50 a day ads, $25 a day ads, but the results are now slower. Okay, so it's almost like a weighing option, but I see that as a con where it's very expensive, especially when you want to scale up. It can get very costly, and it can tie up a lot of cash flow. Now, the second con is you can easily become commoditized. What I mean by commoditized is if you have someone who's problem aware and they're now searching for a solution, they're searching and they're interviewing other people, and usually what that happens is, unless if you properly market yourself and you properly position yourself, you're just going to get commoditized. So if I'm going through a tax issue, and let's say that I'm just a dumb lead and I don't really know much, I just know that I pay way too much in taxes, and I've got 5 people in front of me that say that they can help me save and lower taxes. And they all say the same tax strategy, but this guy's doing it for $4,000. Versus this guy who's doing it for $6,000. I'm going to go with the $4,000 guy. Even though the $6,000 guy could be better, the $4,000 one, I see the exact same strategy. I'm getting the exact same result, tax savings, but this guy's just cheaper. So I'm going to go with this guy. So one downside about Google marketing and Google ads is you become commoditized because people search for a solution. You, along with all these other people, pop up. I don't like being in that situation. You run your Google ad, people search for a tax account, tax planner. You, along with 10 other tax planners, pop up. So they're now choosing. Okay. So those are pros and cons that you got to take into consideration if you're going to be doing Meta ads or Google ads. Obviously, I'm going to recommend you do Meta ads because that's the one that I use the most. I've done Google and Meta. I like Meta more. I've seen more results with Meta, but I've also been on it longer. So, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Those are the pros and cons of Meta ads and Google ads. Hopefully that gave you a bit of info on which one you should lean forward to. Just the number one thing not to do is do not hire an agency to do this stuff for you, okay? You're going to pay an agency $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month to do something that takes you half an hour every single week. and it's super easy, super straightforward to learn. So if you want help to set up and create all of your meta ads, I will help you do that. I will help you create your actual funnel and your overall offer. I'll help you script your ads, VSL, everything like that. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and book a call down below and we'll see if I can help you. But besides that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.